The movie begins with Letitia, a struggling woman who has endured more heartbreak than most could imagine. Letitia has a young son named Tyrell and a husband named Lawrence, who is in prison. Lawrence has been convicted of a crime and is awaiting execution. Letitia is devastated by the reality of losing her husband, especially since she believes he is innocent. She feels powerless and angry at the court's decision and the corrupt system that sentenced him to death. Lawrence, despite his situation, tries to remain strong for his family. He spends his last moments encouraging Tyrell to focus on his studies and be a great student. Lawrence wants his son to have a better future, even if he won't be there to see it. Tyrell, unaware of his father's impending execution, listens to his words, not realizing they are their final conversation. The movie shows the heartbreaking moments when Letitia and Tyrell say goodbye to Lawrence for the last time. Letitia leaves the prison, overwhelmed with grief, while Lawrence is taken away to await his fate. That evening, two prison officers, Hank and his son Sonny, enter Lawrence's cell. The movie portrays both men as racist, reflecting the deep-seated prejudice of their environment. They escort Lawrence to an empty room where he is monitored until his execution. Lawrence, who has a talent for drawing, is given paper and asked to sketch. He creates lifelike portraits of Hank and Sonny, showing his quiet dignity even in such a cruel situation. When the day of Lawrence's execution arrives, the event is carried out with chilling efficiency. The police officers and onlookers appear indifferent, while Letitia and others who cared for Lawrence are left devastated. Lawrence's death leaves a deep void in Letitia's life, but the officers, especially Hank, show no remorse as they return home. Hank lives with his father, Buck, who is even more racist and hateful than Hank himself. Buck's views are a constant source of tension in their household. Sonny, however, is different. He's not as hateful as his father or grandfather, and he's deeply disturbed by the way Lawrence's execution was handled. Sonny's frustration boils over, and he confronts Hank about their actions and their family's racism. The argument escalates, and in a shocking moment, Sonny points a gun at his father. Unable to cope with his emotions and their toxic family dynamic, Sonny tells his father that he can't continue on their unjustified actions and behavior. At the same time, he tells his father he loves him and cannot pull the trigger. Sonny turns the gun on himself and takes his own life. Hank is left shattered, witnessing the death of his son firsthand, while Buck shows no compassion, only anger. The next day, Sonny is buried, and Hank's grief is palpable. At the same time, Letitia's life becomes even harder. With Lawrence gone, she struggles to make ends meet. She faces eviction because she can't pay her rent or debts. Letitia is on the verge of losing everything. One rainy night, while walking with Tyrell, tragedy strikes. A drunk driver hits Tyrell, leaving him critically injured. Letitia clings to her son, screaming for help, but the streets are empty. Coincidentally, Hank drives by and sees them. Moved by the scene, he takes Letitia and Tyrell to the hospital. Tragically, Tyrell succumbs to his injuries, leaving Letitia completely broken. Hank, feeling a sense of guilt and sympathy, drives Letitia home that night. The loss of Tyrell affects Hank deeply, and it marks the beginning of a change in him. He decides to quit his job as a prison officer, no longer wanting to be part of such a cruel system. He burns his uniform and plans to buy a gas station to start a quieter life. However, Buck criticizes him for leaving his job, accusing Hank of weakness. Hank's internal struggle grows as he wrestles with his past and his failures as a father. One day, Hank sees Letitia walking on the street. Feeling compelled to help her, he offers her a ride to work. Letitia works as a waitress at a small diner, and Hank begins visiting her there regularly. Over time, the two grow closer. Hank starts to let go of his racist beliefs, seeing Letitia as a person rather than through the lens of prejudice. Letitia, too, begins to trust Hank, finding comfort in his presence. Their relationship deepens, and one night, Hank spends the evening at Letitia's house. They share an intimate moment, and Hank gives Letitia his late son Sonny's car, a gesture that surprises and moves her. For the first time in a long while, Letitia feels cared for, and Hank starts to open his heart to her. Hank's transformation continues as he names his new gas station after Letitia, symbolizing his intention to build a future with her. However, a shocking discovery threatens their newfound happiness. While visiting Letitia's house, Hank notices a photo of Lawrence hanging on the wall. He realizes that Lawrence, the man he helped execute, was Letitia's husband. The revelation leaves Hank shaken, but he chooses to keep this knowledge to himself, fearing it will destroy their relationship. Meanwhile, Letitia's financial troubles reach a breaking point. Unable to pay her debts, she is evicted and left homeless. Hank, feeling responsible for her suffering, invites her to live with him. Letitia accepts, and they begin a new chapter together. One day, Letitia discovers a drawing Lawrence had made of Hank and Sonny. The realization hits her hard. Hank was one of the officers involved in her husband's execution. Despite this, she chooses to remain silent, understanding that Hank has changed and is trying to leave his past behind. Letitia sees a man who is attempting to atone for his mistakes and start anew. The movie ends with Hank and Letitia choosing to move forward together. Hank abandons his racist beliefs and dedicates himself to giving Letitia the love and support he never gave his son. Their journey is one of pain, forgiveness, and redemption, showing that even the most broken people can find a way to heal. Dear viewers, thank you for joining us on this journey of Monsters Ball. Let us know your thoughts about the movie in the comments below. Don't forget to join our family by subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell icon. Until next time when we come back with a new movie, stay tuned and stay safe.